Tuesday. Good afternoon from the road. Tuesday drive. The Tuesday drive home. Excuse me. Step Philly girl, hello Lori. Hi everybody. Gotta eat something to drink. Thank God there's space dust at home. Sam. Ryan, hello. Midnight in the UK. Thanks for stopping in. That like button for me, friends. You're just joining in. Disney Daddy-O, hello to Robert. Hi to everybody that's joining in. James, Cindy, Cheryl. En route to La Casa. We're going to drive on our hands today. Mandalorian, Kate Covers. Crystal, hello. Pick up my copy today. Tom, I had this crazy dream when I looked in the TV in my dream. You were on it. Yeah, everybody's having dreams about me lately. What's up with that? I got like 3 messages over the past day. That's the 4th. Hey, you're my dreams. Okay. I'm the guy of your dreams, apparently, all you. Just messing around. I have dreams too. It's Poe Fighter and Luke with his blue milk. What's that? Chihuahua Dad, Melody and Pat are both here. Chihuahua Mom and Dad. Dawn. Alyssa. Yes, make sure you're all hitting the like button as you come in. It's important. We're skipping the polar pizza. We're gonna skip the old polar pie this week. Make it all that more special for next week. Tempting. Yeah, I love that place. True Blue Colts fan in the house. MJ Fury Wrestling in the house. Everybody's in the house. People trying to get out. That sucks. It's like a nightmare for me. Oh, God, I'm tired, man. I've been tired. I've been sleeping like crap lately. Too much on my mind. Staying up way too late. Not sleeping deeply or as late as I should be. We go up here to the hill, which is called, I'm not going to put in any directions tonight. We got this. I got this. I believe in myself. How many times can you possibly have to drive to a spot before you're 100%? Can't be that many times. It wasn't so far away. Excuse me. Ugh. You know how haggard this looks. This place is called Century Plaza, but look at somebody like crushed the A and the Z. The Z's all bent and the A's not even there anymore. Not even there anymore. Century Plaza with the Z all bent up. Gotta love that. Century Plaza. Exciting. I love this drive home. Hello, Dr. Dragon, formerly Mr. Dragon. Got his Dragon doctorate. I don't know how many weeks in a row I'm going to make that joke. Possibly forever. Until it just has no taste for me. It's still got some zing on it. course is a horse. Of course. Of course. New York, concrete jungles where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. These streets will make these streets will inspire you. Oh, what was it? These nights will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York, New York, New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can do. Oh, now you're in New York. These lights will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York, New York, New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Let's hear it for New York, New York, New York. These nights will inspire you. Let's hear it for New York, New York, New York. We're gonna let this guy get out in the world a little bit, and we're just gonna. What's happening out here? Speed limit 70 miles regardless of the speed limit. What the hell is that? Yeah, speed limit 70 miles an hour. What is it like doing? Driving 65. 3 lanes of it. I just hate it. get in that door tonight. Starbucks already for the day, hence why I did not stop and get one away. It was a good morning, and then I took my drive down here. Mike, how are you doing? Got my traditional 2 triple cheeseburgers and small fry, Tuesday special. sunset's nice tonight. It's gorgeous out here, man. Florida on a night like tonight is gorgeous. It's warm. You know, the sun's going to set at about 8 o'clock. You live on the North Sea coast. Sounds like a nice place to be. The beach. Tuesday. It's just a Tuesday today. That's all it is. Tuesday at 7:30. And somehow the roads are pretty busy. Yeah, definitely. Guardians is gonna always have a 2-hour wait, I bet, for a while. I mean, it depends on how fast it loads, right? It's like Velocicoaster handles so many people because of how fast it loads. So the fact that you're just in and it's just like bing, 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 send them, send them, send them, send them. I'll be there for opening for sure. No, Florida drivers are the worst people ever. I guess Cali, I mean, I've never been, so I can't speak to it. I hear it's terrible, though, for sure. Wow, it's crazy. We used to get out of this class and the sun was literally had set 20 minutes ago. And now we get out of the class and it doesn't set for the full, like, hour and a half. Wow, it actually only took me 42 minutes to get home. That was pretty good timing. Pretty good timing. Ooh, driving. We was driving, y'all. I didn't let any of them cats hold me up today. I said, y'all want to be stupid? Not stopping me. We'll celebrate the future. Hands in hand. Bang, bong. Ba-bang, bang, bang, bong. Boom, bang, bang. Ba-ba. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom so bad. Oh my goodness. Ba-ba. Turkey lurkey bee and a turkey lurkey bee. Oh, look at that streak. We gotta wipe that lens off big time. Filthy. And then I gotta put the Wi-Fi on. Woo! I need a little bit of water. I was thirsty. I was thirsty. Good God. What class am I taking? It's called the fun class. It's called the best class you've ever taken. Also known as classes that a judge tells you have to go to. It's been pretty good. We've been learning. Oh, I'm not necessarily learning, but I'm using it as it's an observation of people, really, humanity. It's interesting. Well, some days, though, she's on top of her game, though, that Dr. Irma. She's no joke. She's no joke. She's definitely on top of her game. She likes me because I challenge her. She's not used to it. You need to have people of intelligence on this sort of mission. Quest. Thing. Like today we go through this whole thing about human nature. Is it violent? Is human nature inherently violent? Obviously no, right? It's a stupid question, you know? Human nature can't be inherently violent because humans are not inherently violent. They are extremely violent, but not inherently. Inherently would mean that babies just attacked each other and I mean, nature, not human nature, but real nature is certainly violent, inherently violent. If you think about almost every species, the way that they react, the way that they interact from the jump, you know, tigers biting at each other's necks, dogs biting at each other's necks. These are ways to playfully go about how do we do this to other things. You know, it's all violence, really. So it was interesting. I kind of I brought the house in a little bit. I was like, I'm like, that's kind of a bullcrap thing. It's like scientifically proven that, you know, nature is, the animals do not wage war. I'm like, that's actually not true in the slightest bit. I'm like, ever heard of ants? Ants wage war on each other all the time. Bees? Ever seen Japanese hornets just take out a whole thing of honeybees? Like, animals wage war on each other all the time. It's just not successful for one side or the other. It's more genocidal than it is war, but like it was just a very in-depth discussion, and we really got the. I really got it moving. At first, everybody was just kind of gonna like, yeah, like we'll sit back and kind of let it all. I was like, I'm like that's BS right there. I'm like, forget about even nature. In your most primary, your chemistry, the physics that make you up, that's violent. Electricity is violent by nature, unpredictable. Your brain just is firing electricity 24/7. Like, you as one sperm had to beat out about 1 million other sperm just to even become a human being. Like, there's some violence there. you might not inherently, your human nature might not be violent, but there's plenty of violence in and around you, inside of you. Stomach acid, violence, burning, changing, chemical bonds, chemistry, the splitting of an atom creates an atomic blast. Like, violent, nature's a violent motherfucker. Like, it's super violent nature. That's what we all talked about today. An open panel discussion to hear from the boys. A lot of the guys in that class are pretty cool dudes. A lot of them got a lot of kids. They're like, oh yeah, I got 7 kids. I'm like, 7 kids. Okay. Yeah, I just popped off. I just went off. I was like, dinosaur? I'm like, and she was like, humans. She was like, war was invented by humans. And I was like, that's another bullshit fact right there. We don't get to take that kind of privilege to say we invented war. We didn't invent war. Bacteria invented war. Dinosaurs were warring for far longer than any of us have been warring for. We don't get to have that. We didn't create war. We created lots of stuff, but we didn't create war. We don't get to take credit for that. In our hubris, in our humanity, in our hubris of humanity, we would actually believe that we somehow created war. And she liked that too. She was like, damn, Tom. She was like, she's cool. Yeah, it's always interesting. Like I said, last week was funny with the Nietzsche thing. Certain weapons are our fault. Yes, all the weapons are our fault. Anything used as a weapon is the fault of humanity. It could be a rock. A rock on the ground is nature. A rock thrown, that's humanity. So there's a huge difference between, like, you can't claim, that, yeah, it's bigger than us. I hate how big we think we are sometimes, how important we think we are as humans. Like, oh yeah, I'm like, we're like little blips of nothing on a huge landscape of attack on, like, the paint by number things at Epcot. Imagine if that thing, instead of just being on that one wall, it just wrapped around all of Disney World property, and you get to paint one square. That's like the solar system that we're in. You don't even get that little square. You get like 1,000th of that little square, and then there's the whole other tapestry, and like somehow you think you're important. Like, it's outrageous, crazy concept. So I hate when people say stuff like that. Like, humanity's responsible for blah blah blah. I'm like, humanity's responsible for what it's responsible for. They're not as all powerful as we'd like to believe. You watch Fat Boy, what's it called? The man that split the atom, hence the military book the bomb and committed suicide. Yeah, the Manhattan Project. Lots of people worked on the Manhattan Project. But we don't even get to take credit for splitting atoms. That shit happens in the universe all the time. Chemical bonds get split all the time in nature. That's what causes basically like when a supernova happens, it's like that times a billion. You remember the chemistry and stuff that happens inside of a star. You can't ever forget that you're nothing. Alright? Every single thing on the entire planet, including you, it's all, remember in high school, the periodic table of elements, you looked at it and you're like, that's boring. Had all those numbers and letters. The periodic table of elements. That's all the things that make up everything, not just this. And those things get made up. They don't get made here. Some of them do. Certain things produce elements, but it's suns. It's the sun. The sun makes all the elements. The sun burns hydrogen, and as it starts to die, it burns more noble gases, and then it starts to supernova, in which case it starts to create elements that are the hardest in all of the periodic table, like gold. And then, once all those elements have been created in this giant soup in physics, it explodes under its own weight, basically. Under its own weight, basically. And then that stuff just goes out into the universe through the force of that, like a ripple in the water, and it collects on different things, like comets, or planetoids, or moons, and then all of a sudden, you get, the bigger ones again become planets around new suns, old suns. New suns create gravity, which gathers the particles from old suns, creates planets. And somehow anybody thinks they're important. It's just crazy. Sad, really. So I was dropping the heat tonight. Oh yeah, if we're going down this alley, we're really gonna go down this alley because most people don't know enough to have a firm judgment on this. Most people's opinions on this suck because they don't have enough information. You need people of intelligence on this sort of mission, quest, thing. You need people with intelligence on this sort of mission, quest, thing. Well, that leaves you out. I'm picking evergreen. Fool of a toque. Throw yourself in next time, regardless of your stupidity. You need people of intelligence on this sort of mission, quest, thing. Heather, hello, how are you doing? My little bottle opener. This is my anything to open the bottle. I got nothing. Busted up, bruh. Ha. 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 Oh my God, Colton's hilarious. He just sent me a picture of this little poly bag Lego he was trying to build. He's like, I think this is right. I'm like, no. Oh, dude, it's so wrong. Oh, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Am I gonna go see? No, I heard it's bad. What's so funny? I'm just laughing. Colton sent me a picture of that thing. I'm just like, wow. That last one was terrible. The first one was okay. Yeah, you can't tell how different yours is from that. He sent me the one built. He's like, yeah, this is it right here. He says there's no instructions in this thing. There's instructions in this bag. I can see the instructions inside mine. Cheers to you too, sir. I'm gonna help him out right now. Watch this. Just because I'm a good Lego person. There you go. Oh! Yeah, stay away from that. How's the dust supply looking low? This is the last bottle. 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 To the last bottle. That's the last bottle of the dust. The last bottle of the dust. Purple Queen. Hello. I hold a special place for you. He's a puff like me. Yeah. So like I know, but why weren't the movies about him? Why is it about Grindelwald and Dumbledore? And like why do they gotta stick him in the background just doing this little stuff like to remind you like, oh yeah, don't forget this is a Fantastic Beasts movie. It's like he should be the whole story should just be him out there catching animals, right? Like so stupid. Harry Potter sucks now. It's too bad, because it was pretty good. But now it super sucks. Everything has sucked since the last movie, the Half-Blood, whatever they call that thing, the Cursed Child's terrible. Everything she's tried to do to retcon or change things has been terrible. These Fantastic Beasts movies are terrible. Poor Harry Potter. He got beat down. I'm doing excellently, thank you very much. I'm so happy that they can't do this to my precious Lord of the Rings. My precious. It was terrible. It was like it was like Rise of the Skywalker, basically. It's like, did you like Palpatine? You'll love his granddaughter, Rey. Why can't I just have a new story? I don't care what happens to Harry Potter when he gets older. He fought Voldemort. Like, that's it, right? You don't get no better than that. I like to hear about his midlife crisis. Harry Potter stanks now. Plus, I hate it upon review. I can't even read the books. It's terrible. Like I said, when I had that epiphany, like I hadn't read the books or watched the movies really since I had kind of come to it. You know, at some point I had watched enough stuff that I felt like I had grown totally into where I've been for maybe 10 years now of like really understanding. Maybe not even 10 years, maybe 8 years. Of just really knowing what it is. Probably because I started creating around that time too, and I started watching YouTube, which really opened up my eyes to like what creation even is. Like, and I gotta tell you, I went back and I started reading Harry Potter, and I think I was definitely feeling some kind of way in the second book. I was like, there were too many, those things that I was like, you know what really got me was when they were flying the car. And it's like describes that they're flying the car. Oh my God, they gotta fly the car so far alongside the train. And it's in the countryside where people could see the car. And I was like, wait, but they can't see the train? Because like even if the train's magical and you can't see it, it's still there, right? In Harry Potter, even if you make something disappear with the invisibility cloak or through spells, it's still there. Even Muggle repelling charms would repel you away from it, right? So say that it had all that on it. But this is Hogwarts, and it's been there forever. And this train is like the only way that you access it. So it's on rails, right? Like a train is on rails. It's not a magic train that just goes over the ground. Like it says it's on rails. You get on a platform. It's like... And I started thinking to myself, wow, this is really stupid. Because there's no way that nobody would have ever come across these tracks. Nobody wanted to build at any part of this thing. It goes from the top of Britain to the bottom. There was no part of this that needed to get built in the past 1,000 years. Nothing? I'm like, it's just completely like, you're just supposed to believe it. Which is fine. There's plenty of it you're just supposed to believe. Flue powder in the fireplace. All that in the second book, like the Chamber of Secrets, Molly Weasley, Tom Riddle's in the diary. This Aragorn, why doesn't he eat, he wants to eat he won't eat Hagrid, but he will eat Harry. Like, there's so much weird stuff going on that you can deal with. But for some reason, the train thing hit me big time. I was like, this is stupid. You had the whole world at your fingertips, and this is what you came up with. Like Tolkien, this guy had a language, he has like a history, like there's no gaps. People always say, why didn't they just fly the eagles to Mordor? No, the eagles are angels of gods. They're not eagles. They follow the rules of the gods. And the gods didn't interfere with the ring because that wasn't their job. It was to let humanity play its course. So yeah, at the very end, the gods send in the eagles because it looks like it's getting a little weird. But Frodo has already done the task. He's defeated Sauron, freed the peoples of Middle-earth. Now the eagles can come and just pick you up and make it a little easier. They can come and just wipe the plate. Like, you already did the hard part. All right, now we're just going to make the rest of this easy for you. There's not those kind of plot holes in Lord of the Rings. They don't exist. And when people bring them up, you can just shut them right down. But when I got to that fourth book and I was reading, and then at the end, the way that they describe the way that Moody takes Harry away from the Triwizard Tournament, and the way that Dumbledore comes in and begins to tell Harry that, like, he really didn't have any kind of idea that this wasn't his best friend, Mad-Eye Moody. It'd be like Pat. Like somebody took over Pat's thing. And, like, I didn't realize it. I would pick up on it, I'm sure, instantly. Because you can't learn everybody's mannerisms 100%, right? Even if you had Moody in the trunk, like, you couldn't... It just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, this is Albus Dumbledore, the most powerful wizard of all time besides Merlin. And he can't even tell that his best friend, like just like some guy drinking Polyjuice Potion all the time. Polyjuice Potion that Hermione cooked up in the second book. She's a sophomore, a second year. She cooked this shit up, and Dumbledore can't smell through any of that. I'm like, come on. These books suck. And then I stopped reading. Because I was like, I don't want to ruin the rest of them. I'm sure that if I read... I will say that one of my favorite chapters, or one of my favorite even passages of any kind of like thing that I've ever read is when Harry has to embrace his death at the end and the snitch opens. He goes to his family in Sirius and they walk him down to face his own death. Voldemort thinks he kills him. He goes, has this chat with Dumbledore, comes back, fakes the whole thing, Narcissa's betrayal, the reveal that Harry's actually there. The battle for Hogwarts is okay, but that little chunk right there is the most beautiful part of Harry Potter by a mile. That's the only time where she really hit that like Tolkien level of writing, or creativity even. I hate to say it, because she's really not a creative person. Not compared to him. Compared to maybe us, she is. But not compared to the greats, you know? Even when you read Jurassic Park, you're just like, whoa. Like, this guy's, Michael Crichton's a genius. Like, that book is serious. And no wonder it spawned some of the greatest films of all time. Most popular, at least. Marvel comes from comics, directly from it. And they were always great. That's why they make great movies. Because the themes are great. Spider-Man wants the girl, but he's got to fight the goblin. That is, everybody can relate to that somehow. So, interestingly enough, of all the nerdology things, really Star Wars is the one that's taken the hardest hit for sure. Because outside of J.K. Rowling herself and all of her crazy opinions, it didn't get like destroyed. It's just not really good anymore. But it's still fine. Star Wars genuinely went bad. Like the crops went bad all of a sudden, like crazy. When you think of these big nerddoms, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, things that people really invest their time into, say, series of movies, books, shows. And they're starting to try it with Dune. Dune's another huge story. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe didn't really translate. Disney tried it, their best. Walden Media, wasn't that what they called it back then? So, like, you know, certain books are great books and they don't really transfer into these great films, but when they do transfer into these films, it becomes more digestible for the community. A lot of people don't read, so it's much easier for people to be like, Harry Potter, it's a movie, I'll watch that. Oh, The Lord of the Rings, it's a movie, I'll watch that. Oh, Star Wars, it's a movie, I'll watch that. Star Wars always was a movie. But, you know, certain things, certain other things. And really, there's only so many things. Like, if you nerded out on The Matrix, like, that's okay. You could love The Matrix and all that, but the most recent one I heard was terrible. And there's only 3 movies, and it's not like it's a huge deep... If you're if you were, like, tripping over it, you're kind of a... That's the difference between nerds and geeks. Because then you're a geek. Like, if you love Dragon Ball Z, like, I love Dragon Ball Z, that's a geeky-ass thing. Nerdy stuff is cool nowadays, but when you're a geek, you like this thing that's kind of very niche, but tons of other people kind of like it too. Like Hello Kitty. The list is endless. It's endless. It's anything that's not Star Wars, Marvel, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, maybe, I guess, Avatar could perhaps eventually make its way into that conversation, but outside of that, there's nothing. Like, at all. There's just good movies and there's good books. But there's no fandom that's worth being a part of. Besides, you know, Star Wars. As a fan, what do you get to enjoy? Books, movies, games, television now, and a deep conversation with most people you come across. You know, merchandise, you just get to live it. Star Trek fans as well, they got to have that as well. They were kind of more shunned, but they still got it in a more geeky way. That's where, like, that would be like the top of the geek line. Like, if at the very bottom of nerddom was things like Jurassic Park, because yes, they are books originally. Yes, the movies are all some of the highest grossing movies. Yes, there's going to be 6 of them now. Yes, there's 3 seasons of Camp Cretaceous on Netflix, which is all tied in and all amazing, fantastic television. I mean, like The Mandalorian or The Bad Batch, it's just as good as those shows. So that's a healthy franchise right there. And if it's at the bottom, Star Trek would be like right there. And that's your nerdy geek line. And then it's just like, again, it's just the Tolkien, the Potter, the Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings. Other than that, your stuff is too small. Not enough people are going to really recognize it or care about it. You're geeky at that point. It's interesting in terms of like where that... What gets to be so amazing? Like, what are the things that really get to hold such clout, you know? Like, why? I mean, it's kind of, the proof is in the pudding. Like, the reason that Star Wars was so successful is because it had this guy behind it who was creating at, like, the top of his game. You know, why was Jurassic Park so successful? Because it had a guy creating it who was, like, on top of his game with the books and with the movies. So they doubled down. Why was The Lord of the Rings more technically successful than all of them? because it has the perhaps greatest fantasy novel ever put to paper and behind it. And it had Peter Jackson in, again, like just that same kind of George Lucas type zone. We're going to buckle down. We're going to make all these movies back to back to back to back. Like, come on. Get after it, dude. Have a vision. And, like, of course, like, you know, people have been trying to make Lord of the Rings forever. Like, they, you know, there's that old animated version. But after that, like, Tolkien did not give the rights to anybody to touch that thing. And if he had in the 90s or the 80s, there would have been some shitty version of Lord of the Rings, probably. That would have been super terrible, and, you know, wouldn't even, you know, would have bastardized the books and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, that's the thing about it, is you do get lost. I mean, it's like you're supposed to, you know? Like, that's a point of it that I think is very important, and why when you go through and you read a lot of this stuff, like, there's a reason that Tolkien's so hard to read. It's because he was so smart. You know? Like, you always see those memes of, like, George R.R. Martin with Game of Thrones, or C.S. Lewis with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter. You see these memes, and it's like, you know, all these kind of little factoids about all the other people, and it's like Tolkien, linguist, doubled over, professor at Oxford, who literally wrote these books to just be a baseline for a language that he had created. Like, okay. Let's all move over and let this guy do his thing, you know, like. And he was friends with C.S. Lewis. They were good friends, actually. And Narnia's, but, you know, no, I think that C.S., because he was so privileged to be able to really see inside Tolkien's mind, and probably more than just about anybody else in popular, you know, outside of his family and stuff. I think C.S. Lewis realized that The Lord of the Rings was such a sweeping adult story that, like, it would be better to have a sweeping novel with lots of characters, Mr. Tumnus, different creatures, centaurs, okay, yeah. You know, you have, God, what's the lion's name? In The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe? Not Asfalf, or Asvel? Asgard? What the hell's his name? Asvel? Great characters like Gandalf. What the hell's his name? Asvel? Asveloff? Asvel, I think, maybe. That is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna Aslan! That's it. Aslan. Great. And some of the dialogue in that from Aslan is like Dumbledore, you know, esque. Like when he's talking to Harry about, or like when he's giving the Neville speech, like it takes a lot of courage to stand up to your enemies, but far more to stand up to your friends. Dumbledore has these quotes upon quotes that are packed with wisdom for little kids, just like Aslan did. But then you read Gandalf, like, you know what I mean, Frodo? Like, I wish the ring had never come to me. Well, that's not for you to decide, Frodo. You know, like that, like when you hear like Tom Bombadil stuff about like, or just the way that I'm gonna read to you the very end of The Lord of the Rings, and I believe it is the gray rain curtain of this world falls back, something like that. The gray rain curtain of this world. And it's back. Frodo, alright, so this is amazing, right? So this is how The Lord of the Rings, it's like a part of the very end of The Lord of the Rings. This is how Tolkien wrote. Frodo heard a sweet singing running in his mind, a song that seemed to come like a pale light behind a gray rain curtain. Alright, so first of all, the basis of this is that Frodo's heading into the west, right? You know, you remember Frodo, he does the ring, and then they let him go off into the west. You remember Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven? There's a feeling I get when I look to the west. The West. And by, if you don't know, Robert Plant was a huge Tolkien nerd. There's so much Tolkien scattered throughout all of Led Zeppelin's lyrics. The West was like Valinor. And Valinor, so Valinor was like heaven, basically. But it was heaven on earth. Like, it was heaven that was accessible. And to those that would welcome it, basically. And Frodo, because he was the ring bearer, got the chance to sail to Valinor with Galadriel and Elrond and Círdan the Shipwright, and Gandalf, who was literally like an angel, basically. You know, Gandalf was one of the oldest beings in all of Middle-earth. The reason that Frodo and Bilbo get to go and do that is because bearing a Ring of Power was a great responsibility, and they were the only hobbits, men, halflings, or anybody in between to have ever gone to Valinor. So there's this beautiful moment of, like, you know Valinor from its history, if you're like a super deep person, right? You know that the world was created through song. So that idea that Frodo heard a sweet singing running in his mind. A song that seemed to come like a pale light behind a gray rain curtain. So beyond what is the reality of the pale gray rain curtain, right? There is the light of foreverness, basically, the song, the ever changing, ever singing song that in Tolkien's mind represents like life, basically. It's really, the guy was just so smart. You cannot do this with J.K. Rowling's writing. You just can't. It doesn't exist like that. It doesn't have any analytical value to it at all. It's just there as a surface story. And again, when Harry has to go face his death, that's huge. That's huge. I'm not taking away from any of that, but that's a very small Pierce, I said, because Pierce loves Harry. That's a small piece of the giant story that is Harry Potter. And growing stronger to turn to a veil, all to glass and silver, until at last it was rolled back and a far green country opened before him under a swift sunrise. Frodo sees that vision in the House of Tom Bombadil, basically when he leaves the Shire on his mission. And it culminates in the idea that he gets to see Valinor at the end. It's just like Jurassic Park, very analytical. Like, you can read it and then think about it. You're like, whoa. Like, there are some deep stuff in that. I mean, J Park too, that's more reality based, you know, like the power of man and the recklessness of technology, and there's so much. The recklessness of technology. Once a wizard, always a wizard. I don't know the actor's name, but I wonder if he really wanted to play both Gandalf and Dumbledore, or was it just a lot of money? Dude, are you crazy? You actually think that Ian McKellen, who is Gandalf, you think he played Dumbledore, huh? That's awesome. Dumbledore was, you're not, I'm gonna question even your fandom. You don't know who plays Dumbledore? Dumbledore was played by two men. First, he was played by legendary Michael Gambon, R.I.P. And then, of course, after that, was played by, what's his name there? Gambon was the better one. I don't like the second Dumbledore. No, Ian McKellen was the second Dumbledore. That's, what's his name there? Friends with, Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole's buddy. You know Peter O'Toole's buddy? God, what's his name? Peter O'Toole's buddy there. Richard Harris. Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris, they're like best friends. God, how come I couldn't think of Richard Harris's name? MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark. Richard Harris, dude? MacArthur's Park is melting in the dark. All the sweet cream icing flowing down. Someone left the cake out in the rain. That's Dumbledore. Richard Harris. Ian McKellen, famously, while he was playing Gandalf the Grey, also played Magneto. We're the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter. We're the future, Charles, not them. Something different in you today. A bit more iron in your blood. We're the future, Charles, not them. They no longer matter. If I were to rack my brain, I don't think there is a single person in Harry Potter, the movies, of course, that was in The Lord of the Rings. I don't think there was a single person. I mean, come on, not even Warwick Davis got a chance to make it into Lord of the Rings. That guy's been in everything. He got to be Flitwick. He's been like, he was the Ewok. Yeah, you had some high caliber actors in that, but people like Alan Rickman, people like really, Alan Rickman was basically, he was really one of the most famous people in that. Maybe there was like an extra or somebody who played something in both, you know? But I can't think of any main, certainly no main character crossover there. Yeah, it's, I mean, they're kind of pathetic, really, those movies. Most of them. They're just bad. I mean, Christopher Columbus did a pretty good job with the first ones and the latter ones, but outside of those, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, when you think about it, like, there was just... Harry Potter was a phenomenon that I don't know if it would occur again. And I think it could have been the perfect time. Like Pokemon. You have to introduce it at just the right time. Before, afterwards, it would just be hard to have caught such fire. Right place, right time, man, with that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. If you haven't watched Lord of the Rings in years, I would say that watching them would be, they are fantastic movies. Perfect in a lot of ways. Not a lot of perfect stuff out there. There's a reason that they, you know, I mean, it was a different time. I don't know, inflation and all that stuff, but I remember the Academy Award Back when they were kind of still meaningful. I'm about 16. We don't need the Disney magic. It was doing this all along. That's right. The cop that for me. You are the magic. That's what Tom said on the trash can. 'Cause you are the magic. We're kinda held up. You can be the magic for a little while. Let's find our resident. Let's find the resident crab. Oh yeah. Tucked away in a little crevice. Getting used to his surroundings. That's just fine. You do your thing down there. No polar pizza tonight? No, I'm kind of regretting not getting it too. Suka. 11 likes away from 100. Appreciate that. Thank you, MJ. Tank looks great. Thank you so much. Yeah, the little emerald crab, he's tucked away. He's found himself a nice little spot back there. Posted up with his butt up against the thing. That's how you know he's getting used to his surrounding. Claws out front. Until he gets comfortable and he knows he's the only thing in there, probably. Picture to picture, please. Who the hell knows what that means? We doing music tonight? Oh man, that's a good question. We might listen to a jam or two. There he is, Leapy. There's no leapy. Yeah, I don't know if that crab will stay in there, to be honest with you. He's a little big and beefy. We'll keep him in there while the anemone settles down. Just to keep a little biological diversity. But before I put any kind of cleanup crew or that lobster, I mean... You know who's got the lobster? Fish store kid. I was like, yo, where's the lobster? He's like, I was in my tank. I said, shut up, dude. You want to give me that thing back? He was like, yeah, I'll give it to you back. And I said, I don't know. He's like, it's eating, though. It's doing well. I'm like, oh, all right. Well, if it's doing good in your tank, I don't want to strip him from you. You got to get me another one. Where you been into, Tom? What you been into? What have I been into? Oh, yeah. Been into all kinds of stuff. You ever had Dory or Nemo? I've had all the fish. All the fish. I've seen all the fish. Been around all the fish. There was a little tang in there today, man. A dory that was about, oh, I would say the size of the top part of my pinky there. So, you know, there's a little piece of paper towel to represent the size of this thing. It was about, God, it wasn't even that big. Well, it's small, wasn't it? Yeah, that's probably about more accurate. It was like that big. Tiny little thing. Could have even been a little smaller than that. I thought about it. He's like, that sucker's $70, and you can put him in here for sure. But eventually, he's gonna grow, and then you gotta bring him back. I bet you've been busy. Yeah, I'm live every single day, Brianna. Every day I'm live. You can come see what I'm doing every single day. It's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy? I'm at Epcot watching Homunculus. When did you go live yesterday? When? Oh, I was live from, I don't know, maybe was it noon or something? Maybe it was like to 3, and then we came back here, did the wood. I have from like noon to 6 or 7 o'clock or something. 7 hours? No, we went 6 hours yesterday. Day before was just 8 hours. I'm live all the time, y'all. Couldn't find the stream yesterday. What do you mean? Like you couldn't find it yesterday, or you can't find it right now? Sometimes it's weird. You gotta punch in. You gotta go to my name. Oh yeah, wow, that's weird. Yeah, sometimes they don't pop up on the screen, you know, on your like main feed. You gotta go hunting. Can't wait to see these rocks covered. Ah, yeah. These rocks gonna get a name, and that's gonna start the process. Trevor, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Is this your fish tank? Is this your... Oh, it doesn't even say fish. Yes. The Cabs TV. Thank you very much. 100. This is my tank. Boy, howdy, we got some adventuring to do tomorrow. Or at least I do. Oh. I've got some adventuring to do. Well, you'll be coming for some of it. What are we doing tomorrow? Lots of stuff. Oh, we're gonna. Down from going through it, right? Tomorrow. We're meeting up with Jersey Johnny tomorrow at Kona. What music is this? This is the Creation Shop music. We'll probably stream from like one of my shows. If you're still streaming in an hour, all right, MJ, go watch the show. That's a good idea. Tomorrow I'm gonna stream from like probably like 2:30 to like 5:30. Actually, I'll stream from 2:30, and then I'm gonna go to. Oh, did I black screen? Sorry if it paused. That was the battery. Let me know it's getting low. about Thursday. Oh, I need to actually come home in between that. Let's wrap a fresh one. Captain Robert's in the house. How you doing, Captain Robert? Now Priscilla wants a tank. That's how it goes, dude. These things are... Wait till there's coral in it. You'll be freaking out. You'll be like, whoa. Now I really want one. There's a little rain. Alright, tomorrow I'm gonna get up at... think about the new DJI and mic? The new DJI mic. The new DJI mic, huh? Let's check it out. DJI microphone. The DJI wireless mic kit, is that what we're talking about? Holy shit. That's pretty serious. Yeah, it looks cool. I don't know if I would ever pay $300-something for a mic. It better be professional quality, you know? So I guess it would be. I mean, I'd have to mess with one first to see if it was worth the hype. It looks cool though. I like the little setup. DJI, they get their hands into everything. How would you borrow once we moved there? That water is so clear. Yes, very clear. You could drink it. No, you wouldn't want to drink it. How goes the pool? Not as good as this. We got a brand new filter coming tomorrow, so that's part of the adventure tomorrow is getting that thing in there, and I think we're gonna hook up that vacuum and do a little damage control. Hopefully over the next few days we'll see a little bit of brownness popping on. I mean, we don't necessarily need to see it, but it would be a good sign that things are kind of moving along a bit to have some form of algae pop up. Algae is a bad thing, but it's also a sign that things are at least heading in the right direction. When is it going to come out? Oh, never. Not never. It's going to take him probably days before he's comfortable enough to... He's chilling under that rock in full position of just hanging out. That was the other thing I was thinking, that maybe tomorrow, depending on how things go. Thursday's going to be a pretty rainy day, so I think we'll... probably go down to the fish store on Thursday and maybe grab a frag, a coral frag, a little zoanthic frag I put down here. Just to, you know, again, get things going. I'm a little scared of just dropping the anemone in here without having anything in here to see if it's healthy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Salud. Thank you. Even if on Thursday I just grabbed a little mushroom or something, one of those little St. Augustine mushrooms, just to kind of... And that way on Saturday I can go in. If that thing seems to be alright over 2 days and the crab starts moving around a little bit, not moving around necessarily because he might be comfortable down there. There's a lot of flow in this tank. Maybe I gotta just get the little, that little blue tang. No. Anemone first. I just want to make sure it's all good. Maybe he's got like a crappy little Rhodactis mushroom that he could just like sell to me. Pop it off of a rock. Crowds are nuts, dude. Epcot Sunday. Thank you for reminding me. Let me make a park pass. Whip, 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 whip. Get some rest, everybody. Next week is spring break for all of us here in the Northeast. I have a bunch of friends here today. Oh, God. 5:30 for work. That's too much. Did you say Universal is any better about the time? No, my buddy was at Universal the other day. Said it was packed. Packed. This is my little slice of heaven right here for the intern. Until Disney gets it all back together. There's plenty of magic out there. We're going to create a little piece of magic and let's start. Like it pauses in general. You don't need to pause YouTube. Good night, Jeff. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. You gotta be up at 5:30 too. My God. The lag is real, as the kids say. Oh my God, we're not zoomed anywhere. Well, it was fun. I'll wrap it up. I had some lag that basically just kicked everybody out of here. So, well, we got plenty to do tomorrow. We get to hang out with Jersey Johnny. He's bringing us some fresh bagels, some New England bagels tomorrow. So we're probably gonna have to go to Publix on the way home and get some cream cheese with the bacon bits to get it all chefed up properly so that those things can get eaten fresh and nice. Hope there's not a bagel shortage still out there in the world. That would suck. Not a bagel shortage, a cream cheese shortage. Yeah. Stream's going to start at about 2:30. It will involve me getting that pool sorted out. We'll head over to the Poly, walk around, go over to the Grand Flow, look at the Easter eggs. Just going to walk around a little bit until dinner at 6. At which point, you guys are probably going to go to my backpack or something like that so I can hang out with Jersey Johnny. I'd say about 7:30, hour and a half, hour 15. Who knows how long dinner takes, but we'll drive home around then. tomorrow night, we'll have a brewski check on this tank for a little while like we did tonight. Thursday is a new day. So we have plenty to do tomorrow, that's for sure. I'm going to wake up a little earlier and go take care of 2 errands beforehand. 3 errands, technically. So that'll be good. Shutting up now. Oh, thank you guys. I mean, I know Tuesday nights we've been trying to figure out. First was going to be trivia, then there's going to be music, and then the drive home seems to kind of... This is the kind of like almost like a day off. Not a day off for me, but it's a nice day to not have to go crazy. We got 107 likes on the stream in 2 hours, so it's pretty good. Amy, Pat Chihuahua Dad, Brianna, thank you very much. Lori, Cheryl, the rest of the mod squad. Yeah, I got some stuff to do here tonight to prepare for tomorrow. So I'm going to get after it before it gets too late and I don't have any inspiration to do so. Thanks, Captain Robert. Appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow for some running around. Like I said, we'll be at the Poly if you're looking for just the Disney part. Right, probably when you get out of work, most of you, 5, 6 o'clock, so 4:30, something like that. Much love. See you tomorrow.